Hello, Professor Ralph. First, I'll apologize for not showing up in my final presentation and well thought. Thank you for this second opportunity and I will take advantage of it very well. Well, this time I will talking about the gender difference in negotiation. Are there difference between men and women negotiating? What is the topic about? One of the most sorry, one of the most talked about main topic is how to negotiate. Doing invisible and dominating is practically related to the background, the most appropriate style for both men and women, emphasizes listening and building a collaborative environment. Differences. It shows that women are indeed more altruistic than men in experiment context. It, it is also interesting to note that a study by Andrew and Westerlund. He found that when donating is cheaper, that is, what the, what the other person receives costs less in terms of what the donor pays, men give a higher proportion of their income, and the opposite happens when donating is more expensive. So women are more generous. Women are also more aversive to an equal bottom line. Well, in what are men better at time of negotiation? Men are rationality and logical, while women are emotional and intuitive. Men focus on objects, facts, while women tend to focus on the relationship aspect of working together. Also, they are expected to summarize problems and solve them with logical reason and expected to be authoritarian and dominate, while women should be more passive when men and women interact. Men tend to talk more and interact more often. They also have more influences on the topic that should be because dis- discussed, while men use more directed language. Women use a different way of speaking. Impersonal interactive men use a very intense language more often than women to combine others. They tend to be successful with this approach. In this way, they tend to be more effective. When women are used to, they build softer paraphrases like "I think" or "you know" much more often so that the language is not violent. However, this also means that they are perceived as less assertive. Men often expect women to act as lady in negotiate, always a resident, seen on the masculine side as a passionate commitment to a, a cause. Is considered offensive and threatening when used by women. This is especially true when women use incident, expression, and speak. Many negotiators will counter this tactic with it. Is carried out by other men. However, they often find it a difficulty to relate against women. On the other hand, men enter into negotiation with high demand. They are ready for a good fight. They often show signs of overconfidence. Trust can even beat competition. Men tend to express confidence in performance-oriented environments, even if they are poorly prepared or not prepared at all. Men are better when they negotiate for themselves. For men, negotiation is like a winning game because they are always looking to make a bigger profit and are not so empathic to counterparty goals. Finally, men tend to punish in a stressful situation. Women, on the other hand, remain calm. They pay more attention to the non-verbal cues of their counterparts than their male colleagues and are much better at elaboration and documentation negotiation. In, for a woman are better when negotiating. When it comes to negotiating, women are more susceptible than men is in many areas, particularly in the family and social spheres. For example, they are excellent at finding compromise to develop picketing and regulation solution. This this is because they are more easily prevented from compassion and altruism than their male counterpart. Women outperform men when they negotiate on behalf of other people. However, the most important thing is not to know who is the best, but to understand that the domination culture in the professional world does not allow the full expression of feminist skill. We assume they find it more difficult when the discussion takes place in the competitive win-loss mode. In general, women are less good at negotiating than men. Studies show they spend more money when buying a car or other expensive item. They also negotiate lower wage than their male colleagues, where they have to establish a long-term relationship with their partner and openly communicate to find a solution that is beneficial to both parties. This is called inclusive negotiation. Women can outperform men. On the other hand, it is not same. If the negotiation is carried out in the competitive move, the discussion then leads to an agreement in which winner and loser emerge. Counter-different support the hypothesis that women are more cooperative and more relationship-oriented than men. This supposes feminist abilities and valued because they contributed to the achievement of mutual gains, and a subtle distortion of mean occurs. These feminist characteristics are considered to belong of the system of relation truth in the origin of attributes such as empathy and concern for others. Therefore, empathy become men obtain information about the other parties. Okay. Difference between both gender. I talking about so for men or for women. Okay. In this part, I talking about different tactics, tactics first, and behavior in competition situation. Okay. In the part of tactics in men uses distribute tactics much more frequency. Dirty ultimatums, drama, face-to-face. Their languages is much sharper. The goal is convince or persuade the other person. When faced with the aggressive of woman negotiation, they find it difficult to pay in same occurrence. Some are also afraid to approach negotiation as competitively as they would with male opponents at the same time. Men assume that women play much less than male opponents. If women seem more confident, some men want to gain a psychological advantage by smarting the opponent and appealing to their family. In case of women in tactics, women use a cooperative and inclusive tactic much more frequently. Their language is much more balanced and they listen more carefully. However, women also easily overlook much volume behavior. In the other woman, this behavior is typically related to the competition culture of male opponents. In the part that first, men are afraid of losing. In some studies, men were particularly afraid of losing to female opponents. Some would have accepted the failure of the negotiation rather than being hit by a woman. In the case of women, on the other hand, often fear success. They fear that others will perceive them as less feminine because of their success. In the part of behavior in competition situations, men are more willing to hide injuries or breaches of truth. They tend to lie or lie to themselves to improve their our self-image. Men are more likely to accept extreme trading results when they are achieved by male than by women. In competitive situations, women tend to be more trustworthy and trustworthy at the first. They are not so focused on themselves, but no other than on the measure that are supposed to make others feel better. In the part of women, many women are concerned that their success in competitive situations may have a negative consequences for them, especially that they distance them from other even women criticize other women get exceptionally good results. This skepticism towards same-sex people is often greater than men. Critical attitudes toward a woman. And the perception for men when men are successful, their achievements are generally attributes to intrinsic factors such as hard work and intelligence. In the part, women are expected to be concerned mutually benefited, beneficial negotiator who plays with importance in maintaining exciting business relationship and trying to maximum to mutual added value of the other party. The both party, if women are successful, their performance is more likely to attribute to intrinsic factors such as the happiness of or help from others. In attitudes toward good tradition result, men tend to expect compensatory action, give and take, and strive for a negotiating outcome that reflects to perceived power imbalance. In the part of women, on the other hand, tend to fight for fair exchange and leave behind an imbalancing of power, even if they think they are in a better negotiation position. They will not be dragged into defrauding another. Sorry, sorry, professor. Just I talking over you. It's hard for me to speak about my experience as working woman because I can safely say my problem are exactly related when the tsunami had happened and I found out how much later I was being paid and lucky people with dicks. I didn't get mad at Sony. I got mad at myself. I failed as negotiation because I gave up early. I didn't want to keep fighting over millions of dollars that frankly, due to the franchise I don't need. I told you it wasn't related, don't hate me. But if I am honest with myself, I would be lying if I didn't say there was an element of waiting to be like that influenced my decision to close the deal without a real fight. I didn't want to seem difficult or spoil it, and the time at Siemens like a fine idea until I saw the payroll on the internet and realized every month I was working with definitely worry about being difficult or call the labor. I talking about the labor evolution of women. Despite the considerable progress women have made in the labor market, there is still much to do in relative and less at the beginning of working life. Women were seen as an affordable and replaceable option. For centuries, almost half of the paid jobs reserved for women were in the domestic service, which was logical at the time, since they worked at home. Women frequently live in their employer attics or basement. or basement. Understandably, women look favorably on the increasing availability of, of a new job in factory, workshop, or office, even if they earn less than half of men wage in comparable position. Access to occupation such as nursing and teaching was especially on domestic work and the role of caretaker, even if it was considered a lower job and women were forced to abandon their career in this field. At the time of marriage to preserve the social status quo of men as breadwinner and the role of women as housewife. At the end of the century, in the 19th century, sorry, the textile and clothing industries were the second largest employer of women who once again had to deal with long hours, low wages, and poor working conditions. A steady number increased women went on a strike took professional action, forced the city council across Canada to enact laws to improve working conditions and provide fair treatment on pay. Many see World War One of the First World War One as a turning point in the history of women work, as it was then that they entered the labor market to replace the men who had enlisted. It wasn't the same wave of job that we saw during the World War II, but it was enough to change to the dynamic of work from then on, even if we encourage women, and in some cases the law required them to return to their place in a kitchen or after the war ended. At the end of the war, many women rejected to invitation to return to their home or take their hot jobs, despite to the fact that they represent led to far researching, cultural and social change in addition to forcing government and union to review their mandates. Currently, new products and services and the need to advance it and offer them have created new opportunities for women that desire to contribute to the quality of life of their family has pushed many women in the job market. In the job market, the number continues to increase, while these women must receive an income. This is still at a level below that of their male colleagues. In addition to change in attitude, they have generally allowed to create social, economic, and political structure. Women can never go back to the kitchen unless it is their choice. How many companies accept diversity and gender equality? In this moment, all companies uh, accept uh, uh, how many companies accept diversity and gender equality? All companies accept this. With regard to company, they are now more legally likely to want to formulate a policy on the objectives in terms of professional equality. Therefore, the objectives of professional equality find its place in corporate strategy in terms of social responsibility, improvement of women records, development policy, and even external and internal communication. However, for the time being, gender bias remain a major obstacle to global progress, particularly in the workplace. Furthermore, while research show a clear link between parity within a company and this is a final health, women hold less than 20% of seats on the board of the world's largest companies. Companies with better gender equality and are more innovative, generous, and profitable. Companies with the initiative have eliminated wage gap, increased the number of women in decision-making positions, and working on the to end sexual harassment and work. These companies are paving the way for more balanced global workforce. For example, Chile's corporate mining company Coldelco has increased its female workers and at the same time its productivity. Another interesting initiative, the Women Empowerment Principle, a set of operational guidelines developed by UN Women and the United Nations Global Compact, evaluates the cost effectiveness of gender equality. More than 1,000 so 107 1,007 1,700% business leaders endorsing the principle, while nearly 3,300 companies from 61 countries used the initiative for gender analysis tool. Women still have disproportionate household burden and social and cultural norms too often they need the opportunity to attend school, start a business, or participate in the public life. Far more women's wake, eat, and paid work outside in the home is only 77% of men, suggesting that equality is not just about access to the career opportunity. Sorry, Professor. Sorry. When companies put women empowerment at the center of their business strategy, growth and equality are mutual reinforcing live on one behind. In conclusion, Gender-based analysis also allows a different point of view, leaving aside the interacting of men and women to focus on interaction in a negotiation. Gender is the theme of permanent construction, production, and social reproduction within the framework of interaction that take place in a particular context. In the other words, we build gender during negotiating. The challenge is to understand how and under what condition male or female relationship intervene in a negotiation. A man relates, for example, choosing whether to act consciously and or unconsciously, according to male stereotype, yelling, intimidation, competitive behavior, depending on where he considers this behavior to appropriate or if he feels com- comfortable doing it. Similarly, a woman can choose for or to adopt an attitudes in accordance with female stereotypes designed to promote good internal personal relationship in a negotiation. In the other words, negotiator can choose to what extent they will play certain sexually American roles. When many stereotypes are associated with the idea of efficient men seem to perform better than women in a negotiation in the same way. When we encourage negotiators to link negotiation effectiveness and feminist attributes, women appear to perform better than men. So masculinity tries to describe and self-interesting, security and rationality. Women get better results, but when they are told the feminist charities such as careful listening, verb expression and openness to feelings. And finally, the gender perspective highlight the extent to which power completes negotiation relations between men and women inevitably raise question of power. Thank you for all, and again, sorry for I attempt for the final presentation, and I approach this opportunity. Thank you for all, and have a good day.